Right, good evening ladies and gentlemen and welcome to MBTV. I'm Captain Lust, your regular host on the channel. I'm co-casting tonight. I'm a little bit rushed off my feet, but we are now underway with the pre-game. Okay, so tonight we are streaming another game from the Warband Native League Season 5, and it is Week 5. Week 5, Season 5, Europae versus Unity. Oh, I have a wrong map placed on there, I do apologise. The first map we're playing, which you can see in the background, is actually River Village, not Reverend Village. I actually love the map. I think it's made by, I want to say Nox, who was also responsible for the less popular Frosty Battle. It might have been made by Nox actually, we'll see that in the map intro anyway. But I do like the map. It is, I suppose it's a little bit like Reverend Village. I mean, there's sort of a river going through the middle, open areas, but with a very tight centre. The centre is perhaps too tight, it's certainly very tight. But there's a lot of scope for cap on this map. It depends a lot on the flag actually, because if the flag spawns in the closed area, then it's obviously very infantry focused, but anywhere else, there's really a lot of cab getting kills here. Okay, I'm going to quickly just fix the map display there. I do apologise for the mistake. Have been making a few errors, but just goes to show that even I am human. Do tweet in at Captain Lost. I can see your tweets more. I'm not actually watching Twitch chat, but Aaron Wen will keep an eye on that for me. But I certainly will see any tweets that you send me. Well, that's not a 100% promise, but I might see a tweet if you send it. More likely to see a tweet. Both these teams are actually very, very close in the standings. If we go over those right now, you can see that they're essentially level pegging. They've both got the same amount of kills, wins and losses. With Europae just trailing behind on, I think, round difference or whatever criteria it is that's putting them slightly behind. But very, very close between these two. 3 wins and 1 loss, I believe. That's the match itself. I do believe we're going to be getting underway with that relatively soon. There's not much delaying us. I think perhaps one of the Unity players is just on their way still. The reason I chose the key players for Europae, first of all, I mean that was mainly a screenshot based pick, but what I will say is Bloody Death has been playing very well right now. Corey is always interesting. He's just moved over to play for Europae, and he's been playing great already. I don't know if he's here actually tonight. I can't see him on the server, which is a bit worrying. But nevertheless, he can be a key player for his recent performances. And then also Peter, who is a key player because he's always a key player. There's another player I want to mention right now, and he certainly is worth mentioning because in the warm-up he's getting headshot after headshot. And he's worth mentioning anyway. It's LaRue. He was actually absent for their loss last week, and so was Azan. Both the players are present this week, and that can make a very big difference to their performance. LaRue is almost always a key player because he's just so good at the game. I mean, he plays to what can essentially be considered a professional standard, and there's very few players in the scene that you can say that about. He trains really hard, and he's always big threat, always very impressive, and he just has so much experience in huge games now as well. So whenever he comes up against any kind of opponent, you can rely on him to be comfortable, and you can never rely on everyone to get 10 kills in every set, but you know that he's going to be a threat even if it's a high pressure round, a high pressure situation. Going over to the Unity picks, again I had a look at the screenshots here, and Tiger White, who I think plays Cav, or no, plays Archer, I believe, sorry, has been getting a lot of kills lately, and I'm expecting for him to be a pretty big player for their team. Really though, I think it's going to come down to Sub-Zero and the rest of the Cav in Unity, because I think A could take a lot of rounds on River Village, unless Unity are able to match them with some reasonably good playing Cav. Except I can't see Sub-Zero either. I've really taken a big swing and a miss with some of these key players. And then I put Brian in there because Brian is Brian. Him, along with his twin brother Thor, have just established themselves as arguably the best infantry pair in the scene. Okay, I think we're going to be getting going now, so why don't we just go ahead and run that first map intro. Such a fun map intro, oh my god, I love it. Okay, we are now into the game. And we can see Europae taking 5 horsemen. I don't know if they're all mounted, but I can see at least 3 mounted right now. One probably at A in the distance. Hard to see why they would take an unmounted horseman as Nords. Anyway, looking around as well, just 4 horsemen for Unity. Are they all mounted? I'm actually not sure about that. I would expect so given the situation. You can see 3 mounted horsemen here, and possibly 1 over here on the far flank is going to be Unity Pon. There certainly are more huge names in Europae. I mean, we've seen on MBTV a dozen, 2 dozen times now, and so we know everyone on their side. Looking over on the Unity side, you can see players like perhaps Pon, Wodge, that people aren't as familiar with. They have been very threatening at times. Thor and Brian, obviously people more familiar with them. Looks like Thor going to be taking the horse though, and the infantry pairing not actually both playing infantry for this match. Deacon and Cleric are actually twins, and another famous infantry pair in the scene. Okay, now a killer piece so far right now. Thor is caught out there by Deacon Barry, and Deacon and Cleric just sort of going around as a duo right now, just kind of sweeping around all of these scattered players. Deacon caught unawares there by Unity Wash. Cleric is going to abandon his fight with Brian there and going to head towards the flag, recognising the importance. Actually, the flag is quite a lot higher for Unity, so they do need to get a foot on, but they do have 5 players here with higher health, and yeah, the kill's coming in now. Lure and Axel is taking things under control. It's only Wodge and Brian left. And if they can stay alive here, I mean, they can't stay alive for 40 seconds. I do believe Europae won the round. Brian, though, always a threat, but those are going to be the ones to finish him off. Playing Shield and Spear Archer there. Nord Archer, nonetheless. Take note of LaRue's equipment there. He does take the best helmet in the first round for Nords. I wonder if that's a Vegas-specific choice to potentially survive any arrows. Perhaps we can ask him one day. Perhaps he'll tweet it if he watches the stream after the match. I hope so. Alright. And so first round goes to Europae. I do feel like Cav had a big part to play there. We didn't see much out of Peter though because we missed a lot of his activity on the stream. So let's try and follow him a little bit this round. He's taking his trademark Corsair. Those familiar with Warband will know that the Corsair... Ooh, whoa! Big shot there comes in from across the map. As I was saying, the Corsair... those will know that it is faster than the Hunter, but it goes down much, much easier. And Nords actually have the best riding stat. Nord Scouts, the mounted troop, have the best riding stats of any of the factions, ironically, because Nords also have infantry. So, by playing as a Nord Corsair, essentially you are the fastest thing on the field. And Peter loves that. He does that freedom and that power. But he's been shot twice. Well, he's been shot and so has his horse. I think it must have been Tiger White there. Fantastic shooting from him. See if he gets any other big hits. Goes towards Barry there. Okay, so flag is going to spawn, and Once again spawning outside of the village, down by the broken rocks, but there are some trees for cover. Deacon Barry going to edge towards it, and his twin brother Cleric Johnson, they're going to shuffle forward to meet him as well. Let's see what Unity are up to. Looks like a bit of a crossfire is going to be set up here. Actually, nice movement here, I think, from Unity, as Tiger White heading over to the left flank, while Paolo occupies to the right. I think this crossfire is likely to force these A players off of the flag. We've got Razor on the left for Europae as well, though. LaRue somewhat further back, not as crippling a crossfire, perhaps. I don't know if they've got the flag completely covered. Actually, Razor going to move away from his position and go towards the flag now as well. Flag is getting somewhat high here for Europae. I think we're going to need to see an aggressive move here from Unity at some point. Brian's starting to move into open territory, but there's a lot of AE cav around here. They've got to be careful. Still no kills so far in the round. A minute remains. And here comes Watch with the couch dance. Doesn't get anything done with it, though. Somehow Paul manages to pull something off, and acts with the couch dance as well. All the couch dances coming flying from all directions right now. Still only 2 players down. Unity starting to swarm the flag right now, but it is higher for Europae. Thor brings down Azan. Concurrently, Peter brings down Paolo as well. It's 6 versus 6 right now. Deacon Barry is on the flag, being harassed and harangued by the Unity players. Iranian dropped by Razor, and Razor has found some space here, I believe, to do some shooting. Refuge in the barn, actually, away from a lot of these Unity players. You have a hard time getting him out. LaRue moves in to help out on the flag in melee as teammate Deacon Barry is cut down, and LaRue gets dropped as well. Now Unity raising the flag. Can Europae get to it in time? No, it's very, very close. If Shema Fresh can stay alive, we can't. Kellerman and Brian finish him off in quick time. Now it's going to take Peter or Razor to rush towards this flag and get on it. Now where is Peter? He's moving on to the flag. Out of time. Unity raise it. They win. They win the round. Okay. Now if Peter could have just made it for the last second, he could have perhaps held on for the draw, or possibly even the win of that round, because the flag was higher for Europae for a very, very long time. Peter nowhere to be seen, and the round goes to Unity. Very well played. I think they timed their approach just right there, because it's very difficult to approach those kind of situations where the flag is being occupied by an opponent. I mean, you don't want to go too early, and you know, until all of your teammates are set up and everyone is ready to move in. You don't want to go before you can move in with your full force, but you don't want to go in so late that while sort of getting into position and gathering your full force, you've given them too much of a flag raise. So very, very close, but perfectly pitched though, I guess, from Unity, because they won the round. A very difficult situation, essentially. I do wonder if the infantry of Europae did go down a little bit easy there. I mean, it's a very difficult situation because you're in the middle of complete chaos. That is the risk you run by going into the flag early. I think that's one of the things which helped Unity out there, is their infantry moved on a little bit later, so they were perhaps able to avoid the chaos on the flag. It gave them a better chance of surviving. Paolo, the captain of Unity, and I believe the commander as well. One of the few commanders who plays Archer. Also notable for that is OGL and LaRue when he plays for the Benelux team. Not the Benelux team, just the Benet team. Benelux just rolls off the tongue rather. Yes, we do see the third flag spawn here, and it does spawn in the village. And it's going to be Unity to hold the flag this time, but they don't seem to want to sit on it too much. They've got to move around to help their straggling teammates. And interesting to see that they have made the changes to this map, River Village. You can now access the high ground from the river. The flag was actually used to be on the bridge. It's now been moved back into this rather contained area. There are a few approaches though. But I do like the updated version. But unfortunately it's not reflected in the intro. Ooh, LaRue takes a big hit there from Wodge. Actually under a bit of pressure right now. Oh, brought down by Paolo as well. It's a big blow to Europae there, because LaRue was in a great position, unable to do nothing, and well, Paolo shooting essentially unchallenged right now. Oh, I say unchallenged right at that moment. Peter comes in and strikes him from behind. 7 versus 7 is the current situation, and Unity haven't been raising the flag in the meantime, so they don't have too much of an advantage going into this fight. Peter riding around causing all kinds of problems. Gets read up though, just as I say that. Trying his best to bring down anyone he can from Unity right now. I would say he was targeting cavalry, but I don't know if that's the case. Unity with 5 players against the 6 of Europae. In comes Deacon to move in on Kellerman, but brought down by Iranian. So close right now. Unity with 3 remaining players. They will have very good health, But there's more AE right now, and Arenian gets absolutely butchered there. Really cut down. Brian, overwhelming odds, is cut down. Team good from Axel. Could this give a chance to watch? Playing the dismounted horseman against 4 Abyssal doesn't seem likely, and Peter finishes him off. Abyssal take the 2-1 advantage in this first set. We are going to see a 4th round played here, as the new system. 4 sets, each of the sets best first 2-3, sorry. And then the total scores, round scores, are added up at the end. It's a bit confusing, but we'll make it. It means that the match length can last anything up, anything from 12 rounds in a total whitewash to 20 rounds, where every single set goes right to the wire. Unity have to take a little bit of a think after that loss. 4 players remained at the end for Europae. Not too one-sided. Not too close either. No real snowball emerging here from Europae. Razor's got himself some armor, but so is Cleric Johnson. Peter and Paolo exchanging a few words there. Unity, exclusively a French team. But Peter, a French player, playing for Europae, the European side. So the flag spawns where it did in the first round. Actually, where Europae won. And seems like, whoa, seems like Pon is going to get taken down early doors there by Shaman Fresh. In what must have been a cav duel. Sacrificed by the church. Interesting. Now that Unity is starting to raise the flag. This didn't prove a deciding factor though the last round, but we're actually seeing a different approach here from Deacon and Cleric. Last time they went around to deal with the archers around the edge of the map. This time they're going to be going straight for the flag, it looks like. Also, Deacon is playing a dismounted horseman. I wonder why that is. Is it for javelins? It possibly is. It must be. Schmafresh executed there by Tiger White with a fantastic headshot. Harry Johnson and Deacon move on to this flag right now. You're having a slight advantage here playing as the Nordic infantry. But not able to bring that kill in yet. Axel comes in to lend a helping hand though, and Ace starting to dominate this fight. It looks like they're going to be able to take the set here. Tiger White is executed by Cleric Johnson. 7 players remain for Europae against just 1 left here for Unity at Reunion. And they really didn't do a very good job of holding that flag at all, I gotta say. Some more aggressive approach would have helped them out. Perhaps it's just the Nords here. I get the feeling you're enjoying playing as Nords. Azan happily just throwing jabs here. And Arena's being suffocated at the end. Okay, so well, that is going to be the end of the first set. And I think a good showing overall from Europae. 3-1 is the score. Looking fairly strong. I do believe they are the favourites going into this match. I certainly will consider them to be. I do feel like they are favourites going into most matches, but they did lose last week, so anything can happen in the game of Warband. Okay, so 3-1 the score, and there will be a short break now while the teams just rearrange themselves. Shouldn't be too long. Not sure if we'll be seeing any changes here. Certainly possible. Good performances all round. Very good showing from Peter, picking up 8 kills there. Axel as well with 7-1 score. Seemed like the cavalry really were the decisive difference, I think, in most cases. I do feel like Unity are going to be missing Sub-Zero as well, though, because he had been doing some great work as Horseman in some of Unity's previous weeks. Unless he's playing under a different name, which I don't know. Certainly possible. Okay. So we do have a moment here. Please do tweet in at Captain Lust. Okay, we'd have a couple of... Ah, yeah, that's it. It is made by Reggae Boy River Village. Thank you, Competitive MB, for tweeting in for saying that. And Scar tweeting in saying, Core and Bloody Death both missing today. Let's hope we can do it anyways. Good luck to Unity. At Captain Lust. Hashtag key players, yeah. I seem to somehow always find the missing players with my key players. Let's bring up the roster then, so people can just look at that. I often put Scar in as a key player, but I didn't think the maps really lended themselves to it. Perhaps Valoran, but it's not really a super infantry map anyway, Valoran. I don't think it is. Though it is Nords versus Rodox, so I guess that perhaps swings it a little bit. I get a feeling we could see a lot of aggression actually on Valoran. I just feel like that's how both teams are going to want to play when it comes to that point. I mean, A likes to play aggressive anyway, and I just think Unity, Paolo is the kind of commander who is going to just want to do that. Like, he's going to, if he sees aggression, he will just rise to it and be aggressive too. So we could see some real fiery rounds. For the time being, though, it's going to be just a little break. I hope we're on a break anyway. Yes, we are. Going away fairly soon. Make sure chat's nice and active as well. I want to see some cappers. Shout out to Arwen for keeping an eye on chat. Keeping you ruffians in order. And me, and keeping me in order. She does that sometimes as well. So the teams are now going to be swapping sides, which is going to give Unity a chance to play as the Nords, while Europae switch over to the Vegas. Obviously interesting to see if there's any kind of, you know, faction setup imbalance going on here. I think normally you would say Vegas are stronger here, but you know, Nords are Nords. Nords are good. Jav Cav. It's dangerous. Now I think we are going to be going live now, so what I'm going to do is jump into the game. Oh no. But we'll be going live in just a second. Okay. Sorry for that. And in we go. Europae playing, now is the Vegas side. Switching up their setup, now playing 4 cav, 2 archers, and 2 infantry. And that's going to be mirrored by Unity as well. It seems to be quite an amiable match as well. These teams seem quite happy to respect each other. Some current affairs happening, some current affairs banter happening between the two teams. All seems very friendly. Nothing too bitter. Paolo's a very nice guy as well. And generally not too hostile, unless there's a bit of history. But why would you be hostile to Unity? They're just a very nice team. They're shooting going back and forth between the archers of both sides. I haven't seen any longbows yet from any of the players. Oh, something said that Tiger White is using a longbow. That's interesting. You don't see it used too much in competitive play. I mean, obviously you're spending money. It's not too expensive, but you're spending money and then it's not that useful in the kind of close situations where archers are often most required. But it is a whole lot better at long shooting than the short bow. And I have seen the longbow used to great effect by certain players. Notably Prince, actually, I think. He's one player who always sticks in my mind as a very good longbow user. Of course, back when I played, I remember Gurnison, my core clanmate at the time, was a very good longbow user. Of course, most people now know him as a horseman. In any case, flags spawning over by the village. M and Cleric are going to approach from the river. Looks like Deacon's been subbed out. Great bump slash there by Peter. He's getting a little bit caught up here, and Pom with no shield, yeah, it's just easy bait for LaRue. Peter with a double kill right now. Nearthar coming in with a kill too, and yeah, Yoon's getting really caught up right now. LaRue just shooting unchallenged, picks up a double kill with that headshot. And he wants the triple. Not going to get it. But so far, absolute whitewash here for Europae. Just Thor and Arena remain, and well, so much for any advantage for the Nords. Can Thor do something to counteract this whitewash? He's going to do what he can. He's being harassed right now, though, and has only got a light lance against the regular lances of the A horseman, the Vega horseman. Peter now in pursuit with the Corsair. Ooh, great jab by Thor. Catches Peter while he's couch dancing. Of course, A have won the round because they've already raised the flag enough, and nothing Thor can do now. But he's going to try and get a kill and at least stay alive here. He's done a pretty good job there. I wonder if Europae would. Oh! Hits the leg! Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, I guess kill by Axel at the end. Still a fantastic way to prevent the whitewash, though. I don't need to translate that, surely. Yeah, brilliant moment there. And you know, Peter's going to laugh that off because you know he sees the chance. Sees the chance. And a little bit of luck. No one can begrudge him that. But Europae, the fact remains, come out of that round in a very good way. No armor yet, obviously, with the latest patch. A couple years old now, but older. The latest patch, it's presumably likely. Obviously the Vegas got slightly more expensive gear. Let's hope nothing going to come of that. Alright, flag does spawn now by the dead tree. And Craig Johnson immediately bringing down Arena then with a javelin, presumably. Here comes Shimafras trying to get some damage done, but it's taken down by Unity right now. Unity fighting back. Well, they are low on players right now. 5 players to Europae 6. LaRue caught up with Tiger White here in a very awkward spot between these grapevines. Tiger White using the situation to his advantage though, and actually doing some great work against Cleric and LaRue, fighting in this awkward, close quarters spot. Really actually keeping players very busy for a very long time there. The rest of the team not able to take advantage of it quite as much as they would hope to. Nice work by LaRue, able to rear up Thor, and yeah, LaRue going to pick up a double kill there. Just pawn remaining. LaRue's trying to steal that kill from amongst his teammates. Finished up by Clark Johnson. And Europae coast to another round win. Nice work by Tiger White though, I think there in the grapevines. Did some creative stuff. And very almost took down LaRue and Clark Johnson there, which not a bad achievement at all. Peter leading the charge. And Unity coming in from their spawn as the Nords. No class changes here from Unity. I do wonder if it would have been worth trying something a little bit more creative here, but Paolo doesn't seem interested. I mean, the rounds haven't been too one-sided, but at the same time, Unity haven't really been very close. The first round was very one-sided, of course, but last round was better. Europae now finally able to avoid some of that expensive armor. Some fancy looking boots there on LaRue. Fancy boots, very classy stuff. Like these infantry drubbers here with their fur boots. M showing off some of his mad skills, trying to do some parkour. Perhaps if you drop the shield, mate, you might have made that, but too much of a professional. He's been shot too many times in the head in the pre-round to be dropping his shield there. I can tell you that. Unity retreat back to their flag position inside the village. This is where the flag spawned in the first round of this set, and Europae were dominant. I wonder what Unity are planning to do differently. Is Tiger White still rocking the longbow? He is. Tell me, Tiger White, what can you do now with your long bow? Now it is long, as the name would suggest. Shimmer looking to creep up around the side here. Going to be going for a bump slash on entry. Take it, but immediately here distracting all of the Unity players, really clearing a path for his team to come in. LaRue again shooting complete unchallenged. It's just great aggressive play and good positioning from Europae. Look at this, LaRue. You can just see how good he is at doing this. Double kill from him. Double kill from Peter. I mean, what is there left to say? Completely dominant from Europae. Fantastic play. Unity were just overwhelmed, and the result was the Europae's archers and cavalry were just free to do whatever they wanted because they were under zero pressure. And that's what happens when you back off. Not good stuff. Okay, so we do go into the half-time now. Oh my god, I'm downloading a map which is causing me some issues. Okay. And the half-time score is 6-1 to Europae. Really looking very, very strong right now. We are moving on to Valoran, and this is a map where, sure, cavalry is important, but it's less important to have a lot of good cavalry. One or two will get you by, and I think Unity have that. Now, the only issue here, well, not the only issue, but one big issue for Unity right now is I've seen Shed My Fresh play Cav on Valoran before. It's not, I mean, it's beautiful in a way, but it's not fun to play against because he's just a tyrant. I mean, I've just seen him he just kind of glides between the melee fights, but he's like a gliding hammer because he just smacks into the opposing player who's fighting one of his teammates, gets off a bump lance or a bump slash, normally a bump lance, and then just moves on to someone else, and he's just like slam, slam, slam. He does this into like 3 different melee fights, just going between them until either his teammate wins or he kills them all. And this is going to be a big problem for Unity because I don't know how they're going to deal with that. The answer is probably Brian and Thor. So let's hope they're playing well. Let's hope they don't need Thor to play cavalry or anything weird like they were doing in the last map. Do tweet in. Let me know if you think there's any hope for Unity. Unity, the name was actually has some nice meaning, more meaningful than Europae, which I helped to choose. But not to take anything away from that. Unity more meaningful because it symbolises the union between 2 French teams that actually formed to create this. It's great to see that there's another French team going strong as well, which is RNGD. They're kind of reviving and looking pretty strong themselves, actually. I believe they're playing... I'm not sure who it is. Possibly, is it F they're playing tonight? Could be a great match. Wish them all the luck they need. Valoran, created by AE's own Azan, known as the Robot. It's a very cool map. It was one of the first ones to introduce tunnels and just weird features like that as a major part of any map. There's a lot of elevation in the middle. It's like a 3-floored, multi-complex system in the middle there, that tower. Control of that can be very important. It doesn't guarantee you any kind of win because it doesn't have too much of a great, or it doesn't really have any kind of great flag overlook. It'd be cool to see how it plays out. It's interesting that this map has often been the downfall of Apis Europae, in spite of it being the creation of one of their members and them essentially being known for their infantry. You know, I could really see Tiger White coming out putting in a great performance here. Brian and Thor, they'll catch any of these AE infantry off guard if they're not feeling up to scratch. And that has been a bit of a question actually about some of these AE infantry, particularly in this tournament. There have been some questions raised over their infantry performances. Well, having said that, you know, looking at who's likely to be playing for them, Deacon, Cleric, Scar, and M. It's scary even if they're playing the worst game of their life. Let's face it. What's going to be interesting to see is how many cav each of these teams are going to be playing. Because you can go kind of either way with this. You can play 1 or 2. You can play 3, but it's not often done. Okay, I think we're actually going to be going live now, so let's jump into the map intro. Alright, and we are live, I believe. Or perhaps not. Power landing some issues. The first kill comes in here. Iranian getting a little bit overeager. Okay, so A, not happy with Paolo's. Is it live? Okay, we might need a bit of help here. A, really don't seem interested in this. So it looks like it's going to be live. I think the lesson here is if it's not live, you just got to say not live. Rather than saying, oh, I'm going to crash. Okay, A gonna take the tunnel route. I'm actually gonna be pursued here by perhaps, but Johnny at least is gonna be having a go at them. Get some damage done on these shields. No, it's gonna hold up A here. Whoa, big headshot there by Paolo. And Electron's brought down. And look at this. A actually getting cut to pieces right now by Paolo. Peter brought down by Paolo as well. Scar has got up alone here. He's just backing up, not able to help his teammates at all. And, well, Thor, and another kill from Paolo here. It takes his third of the round. Oh my god. Perhaps They should have accepted not live. This is like standard gaming irony though, like this is always how it's gonna turn out. You should have never posted those ha-ha-has in chat, because this was always gonna how this round was gonna end now. Now look at this. The last bastion of hope. Like Scar, Deacon and Neothar had up on the tower. So these can actually just gonna stay alive. Bit of banter coming in there from Barry. Yeah, Absor probably not happy with this at all. Okay, so it's gonna be the a round win for Unity, it looks like. Deacon busting out the hammer. Yeah, it's gonna kill the Johnny. I think that's enough for them. Bit of a tense situation has arisen though now, after it was all going fairly swimmingly. This is gonna be live. But I'm sure the teams can just laugh this off. And gonna be rushing for control of the central tower. Interesting to see what happened there. I think it was just because Apis Europae were backing off from the melee fight. That's the reason they lost. Looking pretty sharp with their fancy shields there. Scar got himself a pretty cool helmet. That's an interesting default setup actually. It must be some crazy swaps going on there to get him that. Oh, Paolo rubbing some salt in the wound after last round. Classes up here actually, it's 2 cap for both sides. I believe everyone's mounted as well. Bit of an overview here. 4 infantry and 2 archers. So reasonably standard actually. Not sure where Unity's other archer is. Shemafresh hanging out on top of the tower with his horse. Not the best place for a horse, I don't think, but whatever you like. Peter has been convinced to take a hunter, I guess. Sorry about that. Considering the map, I think it makes sense. As Shemafresh was taken down very early by a Paolo headshot last round. In this area, where it's a little bit more flat and a bit more open, and assuming that they don't take him down early again, I'm expecting him to be more of the problem which I talked about before. Fairly has him right now. They do have some hammers, one at least, from Neothar, from Barry, I believe. Neothar will be shooting, of course. Now I wonder why they're taking the hammer. I don't know if this is a procedure choice or if it's to intimidate this banter. I wonder if it's something they tried much. Barry taken down. Paolo with some great headshots so far. She's shooting fantastically. Double kill there from Paolo. And Unity just really cutting up the melee right now. Is it just Nords beating Roadhog? So that's the question that you have to start asking. Is that what's happening? Because that was a whitewash. And that's not what normally happens to Apis Europae. I do wonder if Nords are struggling a little bit. Perhaps Zeke Barry's a little bit tense, trying to use his hammer. You don't want to be thinking about trying to use a hammer when you're sort of trying to focus on playing. They'll still take it though. It's a great weapon. Don't get me wrong, it's exciting and I'm happy to see it. I'm just not sure if it's really too effective. And Unity gonna go for the Central Tower this time actually. Oh, almost a very cheeky shot from Shemafresh there. I love that cheeky little bit of play. Posting some ban in chat there. Perhaps. Possibly to his team. And Apis Europae are able to take control of the Central Tower before their opponents reach there. Something happened. I assume that we missed Peter's horse doing some weird things there. No idea what. Seems happy just to sit out and wait for the flag though, for the time being. Flag will be spawning soon. Oh, hold on. Apologies for that. Flag is spawned once again in the spawn of Europae, where it spawned in the first round. Peter's going to raise it a little bit, perhaps symbolically, as he often does, and then decides to move off later. He's still going to keep raising. Looks like M's going to move over to hold it in position as well, so A now with a significant advantage very, very early on in the round as well. Nice movement there, and here comes Paolo from the side, while the rest of his team go through the centre. Can you get any early hits, Paolo? Looks like the A players have mostly seen him. Now we're going to have a charge coming from the rest of the Unity players down. Oh, it was going to be the centre, but they've actually moved around to the side. I don't think not that much time left, actually, to be honest. Unity, they've got to start moving now, and I don't know if I like the angle that much. It's not like A had really a crossfire on the centre. I don't think they got a better crossfire here, to be honest. Unity do move on to the flag, though, now. The early shot from Razor is going to be a significant. Tiger White has been brought down. Just the one archer remains for Unity, although that archer has been popping headshots all set so far. It's going to be the target of Europae's Razor, a German player. Arena brought down by American. A looking pretty strong in this round so far. Pawn brought down by Razor as he's reared up. Not over yet, though. 4 players against 6. Johnny with very good health. You see Shemafresh now finally finding space to do what he loves to do. To go around, harass, and just help out every single team fight that he needs to. You see already there, bigger damage to Thor, but let's get himself caught up a little bit there. Nevertheless, able to pick himself up and finish the job. Europae take their 7th round, and it's going to be match point now for them. You each have to win on all of the remaining rounds. They do lead in this set 2-1 though. Got a good chance. With early shots in that round, I do think perhaps carried them through. Brian going to be moving in straight here to, I don't know what his aim is. He's going to try and slow down the A's movement into this. He's going to try and charge with his teammates. He wants it. I think he wants it, but the rest of his team is not supporting him. They don't want it. A is down with a very sketchy shield there. But against Nord, you're fairly safe with that. You're hoping none of them pick up any crossbows. There are a few crossbows around. None for Peter, but we saw Shemafresh using one last round. I assume he's using one again. Certainly is. Doing some weird things. Mounting and dismounting his horse as well. Now the horsemen here for Unity have been, to be honest, a bit of a non-event. They haven't got much done, especially compared to Shemmer and Peter. Shemmer especially has been wise in the rounds that he survived at least. Now some weird play going on there from Unity. They're going to try and move in. Deacon doing a great job using that hammer to hold that choke point, and oh, it looks like Unity going to get absolutely butchered as they try and move into this central area. Have they made a big mistake here? Oh, the hammer being dropped! And now Thor, what can you do against such reckless hammering? What can mere men do against crush through block? And that went terribly for Unity. And so ends the game. I mean, they can't win this now. Paolo and Thor, 2 fantastic players. But they cannot win against 6 Europae. Oh! Yeah, that says it all. Great job for Peter there. That will start the execution of Paolo, who's raised the flag. Now, if he can stay alive for 110, for a minute and 10 seconds, he will survive this. Oh, great first hit. Peter trying to BM him there. Yeah, it looks like life. It's pretty funny. Okay. Europae take the win. Very well done to them, and that's going to be it from us. So, Congratulations to Unity. Apis Europae, well, for putting in a good show, but obviously congratulations to Apis Europae for winning. As they do in the third set. And there won't be an interview. I know there haven't been as many lately, but there will be some eventually soon. I'll make them happen. Perhaps we can do some extra ones in the week, but for the time being, really just great show from Apis Europae. Showing they're still great. And I think having a Zan and LaRue back was a big boost to them there as well. Even though LaRue didn't play a couple of the sets, they just looked a lot more comfortable. But some good play by Unity nevertheless. I want to say Legend, but obviously they're not Legend anymore. Okay, I do want to shout out to Anwen for having me back, helping me out, getting these streams arranged. And just in general. I don't know, was there some problem with the production? I didn't quite notice. But in any case, yeah, I want to say thank you to the tournament admins as well for obviously running the tournament. Thanks to the teams and players for playing. Thanks to all the other streamers as well. I believe there's some great games going on right now, so definitely do check those out too. Thanks to all of you for watching. And respect to sibling partnerships in video games, specifically in mount&blade. It's cool to see both teams having theirs with Brian and Thor, Ferric and Deacon respectively. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I guess good night everyone. Also shout out to our sponsors, Mark Moz and Freaky. Respect you guys. Bye bye.